Hi everyone, Ben here from Sydney Fruit Gardening. Just thought I'd do a quick video, might be a longer one, just a bit of a tour. Now we're about mid-autumn here in Sydney. The rain has let up a little bit, and so I thought I'd take a quick break and show you around, although I'm sure we're going to get a bit more rain again later on. However, I think the garden has been loving it. If you have a look at the Bernica black Sapote here, you can see there's heaps and heaps and heaps of new growth. You know, it's absolutely loved the rain, and it's put on a lot more growth this time of year than it did same time last year. A few black Sapotes on there. Just put them in nets now because the fruit fly don't seem to get them, but I've probably got about 5 or 6 on the tree, and I just don't want to risk it. So these fruit will overwinter and get bigger. They continue to grow a little bit during winter. The dead of winter they stop, and then they put on a little bit more growth early spring before you pick them. The Chacha, Chacha's doing great. It's been putting on a little bit more new growth as well up the top of the tree, which is great. A little bit down the bottom there you can see. There's become a lot more bushier this year. I'm really happy with that. I did have this issue when I transplanted it where it started to die back from the top down, but we're getting this lovely new growth up the top now, so I'm hoping that problem is over and done with. I'll squeeze past the greenhouse. Oh, I didn't show you this guy actually, sorry. This is a sugar banana that I planted. It sat in a pot for a long time, so it's a little worse for wear, but I think it'll come good. I'll show you the avocado down here. So avocado seems to be doing quite well. Quite a bit of new growth on it here and there. This is the Wurtz avocado. Huge, well not huge, but a decent sized raised bed that I've got it in there. And I did build that drainage system, which you might remember from a few videos back. So the Wurtz is doing okay. Coffee trees are doing good. Coffee trees are one of those ones where they actually seem to love the shade, so I'm just thinking of the right spot to put them. I like them here, but I'm half thinking about putting a water tank in and connecting it to the downpipe here over this undercover area, which is probably 12 metres or so long, so it does collect a fair amount of rain. And if I put it in a tank here, it would help me service that whole tropical area over here. Of course, you know, at the moment we are certainly having our fair share of downpours, but I do remember a few years back when we had the droughts. It was really challenging in the garden at that time with the water restrictions and so on. So sure enough, I'm sure the next El Nino year that comes around will be back to that. So I am thinking about that. Medium berry, this one's been frustrating me a bit. It did flower probably about a month or two back, and they came to nothing, so not really sure what to do with the medium berry. It seems to be liking its pot though a lot better than when it was planted out in the ground. Lemongrass is doing alright. Lemongrass, lemon myrtle I should say. Again, I think I'll probably just keep this one in the pot. I don't need that many leaves, and God, I love the smell, but my wife actually hates it, so so it's an interesting one. I've got to figure out how to use it. I might just use some of these leaves in the water. Spalliard cherry, which I grafted up last year. Again, another one which I've got to find a spot for. This is one of my backup Rolinias, which is just asking for a new pot. So I may do that at some stage. I've got tons of Rollinia seedlings though, so I'm not too fussed. This Adieu got struck with scale and ants farming the scale, and then the sooty mould came after that, only in a couple of days whilst I was away. So I've actually put the horticultural glue on a bit of masking tape down the bottom there. That stopped the ants, and I gave it a bit of a spray. I'm really reluctant to use any sprays, but when things get quite bad, I may do. So yeah, I think this abiu will come back. This is the Z4. It's my oldest abiu. This is a black sapote seedling. I tried grafting it up. I'm having no luck grafting black sapote. If you've got any tips, please let me know. Canistel's doing really, really well. I'm really impressed by the canistel. Shooting out new growth. Little ladybug up top there. There's another canistel down here, slightly smaller. And here's my Z4 improved abiu. It's got two sort of limbs on it, one coming out of the side of the pole there. So the abius are, you can tell, you know, they're not suited to this climate very well. But I'll show you the E4 later. The E4 is doing really good. Just some blueberries there. Oh, and I've been doing some summer grafting or grafting out of season. So green grafting, I think they call it. I actually just use these Ziploc bags with a little bit of moisture in them for the grafts. These are all on apple. These are apple grafts, sorry. Yeah, a good number of them have taken. You can see this graft here is taken. It's already starting to shoot. So grafting can be done out of season. I use these Ziplocs. You can see one here with a bit of water in. I use these to just keep the scion moist, so it doesn't dry out while the union is healing. Peanut butter fruit tree here in pot. It's doing all right. No issues with any cold so far. We're not really getting the cold temps yet. You know, the real test will come July. Blue Java bananas doing good. It's shooting out lots of new growth. I've just added on all the bananas today. I've added some cow manure, and they seem to love that. So that's good. Now the Panama berry is just overtaking a bit here. I'm not pruning it at all. I figure it will die back in winter. It's just a question of how much and whether it will make it through. So with all these tips on the end, this fresh growth, you know, it's a bit, they'll be the sacrificial lambs, if you will. So that growth will no doubt die back, but hopefully at the core we're left with a tree that makes it through winter. So you can't see the jackfruit too well. It's been hidden away by all that growth, but it's doing quite well. It's got another bit that's grown off the base down here, and then the main stem's coming up here. Miracle berry is doing good. I thought it was holding a berry, but then I came back and yeah, the berry had dropped off. Still a few flower buds on there. Soursop. I'm tempted to leave this soursop out this winter. We'll see. It's put on a bit of growth. Not heaps, right? But it's put on a bit of growth. It's in a pot. So yeah, well, maybe we'll leave it out. We'll see. Under cover with all this growth over the top of it, it might actually be all right. Cape gooseberries starting to put out little gooseberries. So looking forward to eating them. Gosh, something's attacked that one. Well, actually, no, I think that was my whippersnipper yesterday. See the Panama berries still flowering. Still flowering even now. There's berries that are ripening progressively on the tree. I have to say, for such a big tree, the yield so far has not been huge, you know. I come out every second, third day, I might pick a berry, but there's not heaps on there. They don't seem to come in clusters. They just sell one berry here and there. I'm hoping that's just due to the maturity of the tree, but we'll see if it gets better with age. All right, this is the Rollinia that died back last year. It's been putting on a lot of growth. Again, I think it's going to be a lot better this year because it's shielded by both the red Dakar dwarf banana as well as the Panama berry. So it's been shooting out lots of growth. It's doing really good. And I'm starting to see some of that growth turning brown down the bottom here, which is a sign that it's stronger and going to be more resistant to the cold temperatures. So yeah, nice big leaves. It's loving the moisture and the water. Red Dakar's doing great. I love the look of this plant. I think because it's sheltered, it's you know, the leaves aren't ripping at all, they're just staying intact, which is just adds to the look. You know, gives it a real tropical vibe, so I'm loving this. These leaves are huge. Look at that. Wax jambu. Wax jambu again is in a protected location, but I don't know if this is the cold already starting to affect it on some of the new growth. I don't know. We'll see. But it is pretty protected in here, so I'm hoping it will do okay. Alright, the regular sized red dacre is hidden in here amongst the lemon balm and the yacon. First time growing yacon, I'm not sure when to harvest this, but some of these top bits are starting to fall over, so maybe that's a sign, I don't know. Quaimooks in here somewhere, it's doing okay, but I've got to cut these raspberries down now that we're coming to the end of the season. That'll give it some more light. Yeah, this is the white sapote. White sapote seems to be doing all right. It's sulking a bit because the trampoline, I move the trampoline every time I mow the lawn. So the trampoline was just here. It was giving it shade, and now it's copying the hot sun. So I think it's sulking a bit because of that. The garcinia, Luke's garcinia seedling is popping out another set of leaves. That's like bonus time. Normally you only get one set of leaves per year, so pretty excited we're getting another set of leaves popping out. That's really cool. The longan's doing really well in the pot here. A bit of scale there. Scale's a big number one enemy at the moment with all the rain. Some of the eugenias, so the a bit hard with the sun, but that's the Cape. Oh gosh, cedar bay cherry. Sorry, that's doing all right. Patanga tuber is underneath this raspberry. Patanga tuber's doing fine. Mine, you know, I'm hoping I'll get some flowers soon from this guy. I know some of you out there are getting flowers when they're about this size, so I'm hoping I'll get some soon. Espalier jackfruit, it's doing okay. I'm not sure if it gets enough water here underneath all of this, so, but then again, this will give it some shelter during winter and protection from frost, so I'm leaving it for now. The dwarf grumichon is doing okay. This is the espaliered Rollinia. You probably haven't seen this in a while, but it's doing really well. So it's reached the top rung already. I've actually run a few more wires along. And yeah, it's taking quite well to the espalier system. You can see there the branches are all growing at roughly the same rate, which is nice. I've got to get a couple of branches popping out at this rung here. I'm hoping I'll get some of those soon. This is another Luke's garcinia. This is the grafted Luke's garcinia. This guy, I'll see if I can show you. He's popping out something down the bottom, and I'm hoping it's not a flower, but I really just want this guy to concentrate on some leaves. There you go. I don't want that to be a flower bud. I want that to be leaves. We'll see though. There's another one on this side too. Because it actually hasn't put on any leaves since I bought it. But I'm hoping to get this guy a bit bigger, and then I'll do some grafts onto my Chacha as well. Alright, peach tree's doing alright. It's getting this peach tree borer thing, which kind of just goes in through the top. Goes in through the top, and when you split the top you can usually find the little worm that's in there. A bit disappointed with this guy. I was spraying some iron on this garcinia. It's a Garcinia gamboge, or Garcinia xanthochymus, I think commonly referred to as gamboge. I did graft on some sweet dolces, and it took, and it actually grew some tiny leaves. Then they fell off and it started dying from the top down. There's growth coming out on the other leaves, so I don't know. It's just rejecting that scion now. I may just cut it back here and try and get some growth from those buds. That's a sweet dolces scion. So I've given the apples, the apple espaliers, a bit of a prune and tidy up. I didn't get too many apples from these two. The Pinkerbell, listen, that doesn't seem to produce that well in our climate. I've grafted a hell of a lot more of other apples onto there this year though, so you know, hopefully we'll get some other varieties popping through next year. The Akani one I've worked out has actually got apple mosaic virus, which I think, listen, I've heard it just affects the look of the leaves, but possibly could affect growth, I'm not sure. Anyway, I've been picking from this one a little bit. We are getting our fair share of sort of scale damage and mould and whatnot. The ones I've been impressed with on this tree are the, you might not be able to see it through here, but the Pitmaston pineapple. Pitmaston pineapple, it's grafted on just here. It produces a lot of small apples, and I tell you what, they really do taste very close to pineapple. So well worth a go if you can get a hold of the Cyanwood. Really interesting variety. Been picking heaps of Fuji apples as well. Fuji apple, if you're in Sydney, highly recommended. You can get heaps and heaps of fruit off them. No worries about chill zone or chill hours or whatever. No worries at all, you get heaps of them. So plant the Fuji if you're in the Sydney area or warmer climes. The Suriname cherry is fruiting again. Got a couple of flowers and it's starting to produce little fruitlets. Not too many, probably about 4 or 5, but I'm happy just to get anything. Alright, come over here. The lemon lime's doing fine, got heaps of lemon and limes on it. Alright, over here, Sapote growing really slowly still. So this is the E4 Abiu. Just grab it out so you can see it better, because it's doing a lot better than the rest. E4 Abiu, you can see on the side. Sorry, you can see on the side it's actually starting to shoot new growth out of those side regions as well, along the trunk. So, yeah, E4 Abiu doing really well. It's probably too early to tell. It's probably too early to tell if that's a better variety for our climate, but out of the Z4, the improved Z4 and the E4, this one's doing the best here. Winter will be the judge, of course. Lucama, this is a new addition as well. Little lucama seedling. It's the Mont Alban variety. It's supposed to be slightly moist, so yeah, a little bit of a slow grower so far, but it's doing alright. I've been picking finger limes quite a bit. There's heaps on this little potted tree. To be honest, I don't know what to do with them. They're a bit of a novelty. Nice with oysters and whatnot. But yeah, plenty of finger limes. I'll probably just keep it in this pot or slightly bigger. To be honest, I don't need heaps of finger limes, and it produces more than what I need just in this little pot. Alright, we'll go around the side. Just the seedlings are doing okay here. This is the green Sapote. Really happy I got this one to sprout from a seed, so that's doing alright. Got another canistel here, another little canistel coming up there. Suriname cherries, these are from my from the seeds from my tree when I did that tasting video a while back. Chimpedak seedlings, still alive. We'll see how they go the winter. Garcinia intermedia, 4 of those are doing alright. Rollinia galore, Rollinia seedlings. I can't even give these away. Heaps of them, so I'll never run out of backup trees. Jackfruit seedlings, white sapote seedlings. Hope to graft onto these white sapotes when my tree gets bigger. The campong tree that I've got over there. Black sapote seedlings. Just more apples. Out the front now, the Irwin mango. Yeah, Irwin mango's been putting on a bit of growth. Seems to be doing alright. I think it's getting attacked by I don't know if this is mould or whatever, but it's getting attacked a little bit by scale and ants farming the scale. Put a bit of cow manure on today, so that should help. Alright, the wonderful pomegranate. So beautiful pomegranates on here. You can see how red that is. These are really ready to pick. I've just been picking them as I need to. We only really got 4 this year, and one got sort of rotted out a little bit, so I have been eating the other one inside and just sprinkling them on my breakfast cereal, so it's been nice. Guinea, this is a Eugenia. It's doing okay. It's shot out a little bit more growth, but this is a real slow growing plant. Just put some cow manure on that as well. Mulberry, red Chatoot's doing okay. Again, I'm getting very few red Chatoots off this, but it's still a small tree. A couple of oranges on the Navelina dwarf orange, it's doing alright. We did have a big pumpkin vine all through here, which I've ripped out and just thrown on the trees as manure. Cherry tree's about to lose its leaves, and persimmons. This is the Fuyu variety persimmon, so these are looking good. I reckon they're very close to being at eating stage, so we might pick them soon. Tamarillo that I planted, having another go at Tamarillo. Haven't had success previously, the last one sort of just died. And the dwarf macadamia's been putting on a bit of growth too, so that's doing okay. Alright everyone, hope you enjoyed that little update, and I'll do another video soon. Catch you later, bye.